So anyway, I'm like, hey, and I got a big, well, not big camera, but a camera in front of me. Hey, how's it going? Ignored.
I did not!
Ignored!
Hey guys, it's MadameWario. Welcome to Madame Talks, a series I've started on YouTube that goes back in time interviewing various Let's Players from what was the community back when I started on YouTube and just kind of the Let's Play community in general back in the day. So welcome, my first guest.
Hello folks, I'm Odinspack.
30.
Formerly 33. Just
33.
Odinspack now. How's it going?
So why the change, first of all, yeah?
Well, the reason for the change is because 33 wasn't supposed to exist in the first place.
But like, why did you choose 33?
You've
told me this before. I just don't remember why you said you chose. I feel like you just told me you chose it because you.
It was based on like I used to play. It was like Madden something, like one of the Madden games on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think that was like my number on there.
That's why?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like your story was different before?
No, that's it. I swear.
Wow.
It's kind of dumb because like my favorite number is like 4, so you think it would have just been Odinspack 4, but
yeah, but that doesn't like roll off the tongue.
No.
Odinspack 4.
Like whatever.
I feel like somebody else in the community just chose a number because it sounded good. I thought it was you. I didn't know that.
No.
I really thought you chose 33.
33 sounded good, but it sounded better without the number too.
Yeah.
So I got rid of it.
Well, let's delve into your history then.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So this is your 11th year Let's Playing, right? Or like on YouTube.
No, I think I went to 10.
I thought last year was your 10-year anniversary.
Maybe?
Yeah, it was. I swear to God.
I started 08.
Yeah, and it's 2019, so this will be like your...
Well, coming up will be 11.
Oh, okay. I guess that
I've done
makes
it for
sense.
10.
So you've done this for 10 years.
Yeah, I've done it for 10 years.
So what got you started? That's like my initial question for everybody. Like, why?
I guess I started because my brother was doing it, and for anyone who might not know, my brother is Cypheron48, more commonly on YouTube.
Big Cypher.
And he didn't want to know anyone to know that for a while. So I was like, oh, whatever, I respect that. He doesn't really care now. We did streaming and a bunch of stuff. But he had introduced me to, I think it was Ultra J-Man, who was doing a I Want to Be the Guy Let's Play, which everybody was doing back in the day. But that was like what I initially watched. But then my brother started doing it, and then I was like, I can probably do this too. So like in one day, I like created the YouTube account, recorded the video, edited the video, and uploaded it. And it was like
all on the same day?
On the same day, yeah. So like my account creation in the first video is like the same.
Wow.
Yeah. August
That's crazy.
23rd, I believe, 2008.
I really didn't know that part. I thought you like you just made the channel and like watched.
No, I didn't comment on any of his stuff. I just watched it and I just like searched it, and yeah, I wasn't subscribed or anything like that.
That's so funny.
I didn't have an account.
That was, I guess, pretty common though back in the day. Like I remember when YouTube was newer. I mean, it wasn't like brand new, but it wasn't like it is today at all.
Yeah.
That you would just, I didn't have an account for the longest time. Like there was no reason to.
I remember my channel, like the profile picture. It would just be your latest thumbnail.
Yeah.
Like I could have made it a picture, but I didn't have one. Like I didn't have the rad gravity face that I use. Actually, I don't use that anymore, but.
You know what's fun? And I told you this recently, but when I first came across your channel and like that was your logo, I really thought it was like a caricature of your face. Like I didn't know it was from a game because I didn't watch your first project. I just like watched the most recent thing, which I think was when I really started following your channel, it was New Super Mario Bros.
Okay.
But like I feel like you were doing something else before that I was like, I don't really know that game, whatever, when I first found your channel, and it was literally like, I thought that was a cartoon character of your face.
Well, before that was Kirby Superstar. Well, no.
No, because
it was Kirby 64. Well, no, not even, because I played New Super Mario Bros. U and it came out, and that was like September.
Yeah.
Of like Well, I would have been into my second year.
Uh-huh.
I was playing the Oracle
You were like
games.
in the middle
I was
of
playing
it,
Oracle
though.
Mages.
See, and I wouldn't have cared about that.
Right.
I would have been like, oh, I don't know what that is, whatever, So I feel like that's why I was just like,
Maybe it was
some
Odin's collection,
cartoony
maybe?
guy. No, I feel like I would have remembered that name. I know it was a project like that had episodes.
Well, that would have been the most recent thing. Because that entire summer was like, oh, I'm going to do a video every day. Didn't happen.
Right.
Still has never happened.
I mean, I didn't really start watching until... When did you start? 2008?
Yeah.
So it would have been like I really didn't start watching until like the end of 2009, like going into the beginning of 2010.
Like, were you watching before you kind of started?
Not really. No, not really.
Was it kind of like you just started and then...
No, I had stumbled at the end of the summer of 2009. I had kind of stumbled onto Slim Kirby's channel because of Mario Party, because of a really, really weird story that, I'll save for another time, but, and that was when I first realized that Let's Playing was even a thing, and I was like, oh, people do this. Because I was, like, irritated at first that there was somebody talking over the game. I was like, why?
A lot of people were like that,
and because I'd never heard of it, and I loved movie commentaries, though, and I'd always thought, like, oh, I should do this with video games, and then I was like, what? It exists? So I feel like it was my own, like, envious, like, somebody did this already? Like, but I just happened to find his, and I was, like, irritated at first, so I'm like, I don't want to listen to this guy talk, like, the whole time. But then it turned out to be like where I got like interested. I think if he hadn't been from Indiana and he hadn't said something about that I maybe wouldn't have been so intrigued like right away because then I was like, wait, this person's from where I'm from and they're doing this? How do they know? Like, so I feel like that probably played a part in that too, but no, I hadn't really watched anybody before then. I really didn't even look at all. I had like my people I followed on YouTube, which were like The Lonely Island and Lady Gaga. Like that was it. Like I didn't follow anybody else.
I didn't really know about YouTube a lot.
Right.
Like I was completely unfamiliar.
I mean, it was pretty new. Like
it was new.
The general
came out what, 2006 or 7 or something like that. So.
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of hit it fairly early.
Anyway. YouTube would have only had existed around the time I was finishing high school, so
right.
People didn't really know about it.
Yeah, like, well, we talked about this yesterday, how like in like middle school and high school, like we were talking about like how websites had videos that we were like, oh, it wasn't like, oh, I went on YouTube and I found these crazy whatever,
That's all I really watched YouTube for.
Yeah. So take us back to when you decided you were going to do this with your brother. Like, why did you decide like to do it too?
I just thought it'd be fun, honestly. I was like, I can play a game on here. Funny story. I know you're going to get a good kick out of this.
Yeah.
Probably your viewers too. But my original Let's Play was going to be Donkey Kong 64. And
great.
Yeah, and the reason I didn't do it is because
You've
somebody else at the time was doing Donkey Kong 64, which was Exits Tyler.
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
That could have been associated with me. And the thing is, I think I don't remember when he started, but I want to say...
It was before I came around.
It wasn't too long before I had started to do videos, so I think I was planning it for a while. I was like, oh, I'll do DK64, and that'll be my first project. And then I think I just kind of like, I didn't want to. And then he came along and started doing it. I was like, oh, crap, I could have done that.
Wasn't that Slim's first Let's Play too? What if all three of you had,
I think so.
You all three had the same first Let's Play?
That'd be pretty funny.
Donkey Kong boys.
Yeah, I don't really like that game much.
Well,
nowadays.
Tyler threw it away when he was done playing through it.
So, that's funny. But...
That is funny. But then you made the right choice, because you were like, ooh, I'll play this game that, like...
no one's heard of before.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I'll play Rad Gravity, The Adventures of Rad Gravity.
When I go back and watch your Rad Gravity Let's Play now, you sound so much like Lance, or like...
But it was a different sound recording
I know,
thing.
but
like,
just your voice sounds so much like him. I'm like, wait, how does he sound so much like him there?
Like, you talk, the first 5 videos, my pitch is actually altered because of the thing I was using.
Oh, really?
The program I was using.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe that's why.
So it's not actually
that's
like...
so weird, though.
It wasn't like... It's the only way I could figure out how to get... like, I was using Fraps. And it was the only way I could figure out how to get Fraps to record my voice at the same time. I didn't understand, like, oh, you can edit things together? You can edit a video track and an audio track? Because I was using Windows Movie Maker, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, well, this worked. And I remember having the toughest time, because when I got on to the last 5 parts of that, I was at my mom's house, and I had my own computer, but it was a real piece of crap.
Right,
like,
yeah.
But it was my own computer, so
you just
and I was like, well, I want to finish this, right? And I think I had to play the whole game again because I forgot to like send my. It was a different time.
Right.
But so I was like, why isn't Fraps recording my voice? And I think that's when I figured out how to like
so you just
record audio at the same time as well.
Yeah.
Or I think Fraps might have actually picked it up on my old computer. No, that's it. Yeah, so I was like, oh,
I was gonna say I never used it, so I have no idea how it works.
That's why I sounded proper. Like if you look at like part 6 and onward from that, it's like, oh, my voice sounds right because I'm not using another program to record my voice.
Right.
Fraps actually worked the way it was supposed to.
I know.
So
I definitely have heard of Fraps, and I know of many people who have used it, but like every single person complained about it and was like, it's not working.
It was a program that worked.
Yeah, but
so like when it wanted to, like it was just what people used.
Right. And it was probably free, so
well, free.
Yeah. Well, you know,
free.
It was always free.
It was free. I'm not like that anymore.
No.
Thankfully.
Well, I mean, when you're like a teenager, you don't
know what I was doing.
You don't care.
Like, yeah.
You
like, whatever.
You're like, I guess I'll just do this.
And the
now.
thing is, it's not like anyone was making money off of it back then.
That wasn't a thing. That was like unheard of. So, who was the first person you met through online gaming or through YouTube doing Let's Plays that either you still talk to, or the first person you just met in general? Maybe you don't talk to them anymore.
Well, I think you know the answer to this question, but it's Griffin Lobster.
Was he the first person you met?
Yeah.
I know he was the first person you met.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was, like, when I had played through my original 2 Let's Plays, which was, like, Rad Gravity and then Faxanadu, two pretty obscure NES games.
I didn't know him.
I looked up, I really liked Mario 3, so I looked up a Mario 3 Let's Play, and I searched it by, like, the latest released video.
I miss when you could do that.
And it was his. So, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And
That's
I was
so
like,
funny.
oh, he seems cool. And no one was watching him, right? I was like, I'll reach out to him. And I like left a comment. And he made a song about that.
I sang to you recently.
But no, that's how I originally met Griff, was through that. So like he started watching from Faxanadu. I don't think anyone besides my brother had watched because obviously I told him that I was doing Let's
so
Plays.
then he knows.
So he was watching my he had been watching my videos since the very first one. But yeah, Griff was probably he's for sure the first person I met through that.
Yeah.
And
you still I
still talk to him time to time. Like there were some other people I met pretty earlier that I didn't realize would be like my friends until now. Like Blue Blazing Demon has actually been watching me for a very long time, like since like Mega Man X3, which was like my 3rd project. And like he's like one of my closest friends too, so
that's the part of Let's Playing that still kind of baffles me, and I'm like, wait, what? Is like when I started it was just like to escape my own weird home life and anxiety and stuff. I never thought of like real people behind the screen or behind the videos like becoming my friends or like becoming this social group. Like that's probably the weirdest part of it. Like I just never even thought that was a thing. Like that was a possibility. It was just like, oh, we're all just a bunch of like people who are like, oh, don't talk to me. Like I didn't feel that way, but I don't know why I had such a weird connotation of it. I just didn't associate like regular gamers being these people I would become like close to through that. It's weird.
I think Griff would have been the first person I actually met. Well, maybe Shots might have been.
Like in person?
Yeah. Might have been Shots.
When did you meet him? Like, did you meet him through YouTube too?
Shots?
Yeah.
Shots Rocks, I should say.
Shots Rocks, yeah.
Yeah. So that was within the first year. He had started. I think it was. It would have been the first year. It had to have been because that's when I was doing. That's when I started Odin's collection. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was doing Turok. Was he doing Turok? He might have been doing something else actually, but no, I met him through that. I think he would just watch my videos. I don't know if he'd actually started making videos or not.
Right, but like you
point,
saw him comment or something.
Yeah, he commented, and around that time, and within the first year, is when I started to really use Skype to talk to people. Because really, I only initially used it to talk to Griff. Like, the only person I had on Skype was Griff. Like, which is crazy to think.
That's what happened to me, too.
One day, our friend Dark Minded Sith,
yeah,
Ben,
that's who got me on Skype.
He's like, hey, you should join this call with a bunch of us. And then I met, like, 8 people in one night, and then I met a bunch of other, and just, like, kind of branched out from there.
See, you were more social than I was then, because the first time I had an offer like, ooh, you should come to this thing, I was like, no, I don't want to be like this poser who's like, ooh, I'm trying to get in on this group. So I was like, no, I won't do anything. I won't talk to anybody. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought it was cool because I was like, oh, cool, I'm getting to meet more people now.
You're like, I'm popular.
I was getting connections back in the day.
You're like, yeah, now I'm, what's that called? Like, networking.
Yeah, I was networking.
You were a big network.
Yeah. So I guess I really got to thank Ben for that.
So, Griff was the first person you met that you still talk to.
And I met him in real life,
And you met him in real life first.
Yeah. Before I went to any conventions,
That's so weird, too.
I met him. Like, I went to his house.
Wow.
We played Kirby Air Ride.
Wow.
Just
solid.
I don't know. That's what we did.
And there's a video of you at his house.
Yeah,
it's
the program.
Guys, I'm like a huge Griffin Lobster fan too. Like, I've seriously watched every single one of his videos. I'm a big creeper. And so, I know your history.
Yeah. You have to get him on here at some point.
And, okay, this is another one that they don't.
Okay.
But on YouTube, you used to have, and some of you might remember this, but you used to have, like, your recommended people. I guess you still have that, but it was showcased differently back in the day. You would have, like...
You're talking about
my
the box?
Yeah, like the box
that
were, like...
exists. You can make a box.
Yeah, but it's not as cool now, and it'll have, like, recommended
pages.
or related.
It's the same.
Okay, well...
no one uses it.
I guess that's it. No one uses it
No
now.
one goes to your channel
but
page
now,
anymore.
No. So, exactly. So, people actually went there. I associated you with Griff and with Ben because I was like, oh, they're like the trio of... Like, I thought all three of you were really funny. You all had a very branded sense of humor. Like, every single one of you has a little bit different sense of humor, but they're all kind of intertwined. And you were all really... As far as I knew, you were all, like, best friends. So I was like, oh my god, they're, like, this trio of, like, best buds that are really hilarious. So, like, I associated you with them for the longest time, like, just as a trio. Like, oh, these three, like, hang out.
Well, I guess we did.
I really thought you'd, like, met each other and stuff. And then I started talking to Ben more, and he was like, yeah, we haven't met each other in real life yet. I'm like, oh.
You met Ben before I did.
I did. I met Ben. Ben was one of the first people I met. He
Your
wasn't the first,
right?
but he was he was in the group of the first convention I ever went to, which is where I met almost everybody. I think the only person I'd met before that was Slim Kirby, and again, hence we both live in Indiana, so that was a little easier. But I don't think I had the opportunity to meet Power to Mario because he came to Indiana the summer before that first PAX that I went to, but it was the day that I was moving my furniture, like, out of my house, moving into my new apartment. So I couldn't go. It was like, oh, my mom needed the car, I didn't have my own car, I had no way of getting to breakfast with them or whatever. So that was like a missed... It was a missed opportunity. Okay, so let's talk about co-op stuff. Because you have a lot of co-op background.
Yeah, I've done a few.
And I like it.
I've done a lot.
I like that you have so much co-op background.
I've done a little too much, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the co-op
What
guy.
do you want to know?
I want to know everything. Like.
Well, this is going to be the rest of the interview.
Okay, well, your first co-op was with Griff.
It was,
and it
yes.
was your idea, right?
It was my idea. I sent him. That's right. I PM'd him. How about a co-op let's play? I basically said like, hey, you're pretty cool. We should do videos. Like,
Yeah.
something along those lines.
Were you a fanboy?
Was I a fanboy of Griff? No, I just think it was more so like, hey, this seems like a guy I could get to know.
Yeah.
Seems like a cool dude. I don't know if we had been talking. I don't know if we had talked on Skype before we actually did it. Because if you look at the first few videos,
Oh, yeah.
they're pretty
No,
rough.
I watched this last year.
Yeah.
Because I kept like, well, not teasing you. I was like lovingly reminding you. But anyway, like last year I watched that co-op, which I don't know that I'd ever even seen it before, to be honest.
Okay.
Because it wasn't on like your channel or his channel.
It is.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just... Is it on both, though?
Yeah, so
maybe I had not seen all of it.
So it's Kirby Superstar was our first game.
Yeah.
Like a little scoop. Formerly my favorite game. Formerly. But we uploaded like 2 on his, 2 on mine.
Oh, okay.
But then we had
Maybe I just hadn't seen
plans
them
for the
all.
future after our second game. We're going to do a third game. We're going to do Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't. I mean, we did. We recorded a few. And we had our own. We had the Odinspack channel.
Wait, this was your third one?
Yeah, Portal 2 was our third.
What was your second?
Final Fight 3.
Okay, I just don't remember this.
Yeah, we only did 2 complete projects.
Okay.
And so we were Odinspack because it was like a combination of our names. It was pretty
I
good.
thought it was cute. I liked
It
that.
was better than Griffin Odin.
Well, yeah, that sounds weird.
That's what it was going to be.
Griff Odin.
But then we realized Odinspack was way cooler.
Yeah, that sounds cute. I
But,
like that.
so like we were going to be the original Game Grumps, and it didn't work out. And we just kind of stopped. And then Griff was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this anymore. But yeah, so we had our own channel, but that didn't really last.
I guess that's what I was thinking.
We did put everything on there that
Maybe
we
that's
already
why
had.
I just thought of it like that.
But the original projects are on both of our channels.
Okay.
So Kirby
Then I must not have
Superstar
seen all
was
of it.
2 and 2, and I think Final Fight might have just been 1 and 1.
Okay. Well, my point is that I watched this recently, like
Yes.
last year, and you can tell
Yeah, like
at the beginning, it's
the
like
first like 4 videos, I would say 4 or 6.
it's like
with,
that
the
awkward
Griff.
tension.
Yeah, there. Yeah, there's like it's really weird, but like after that, like it's kind of funny. You can see like our friendship growing throughout
Yeah, you
the
can.
project.
It's kind of cool though because you captured that.
Yeah.
And even though it's like at first it's like this awkward tension and you can tell you're trying to like bounce off of each other's humor, but you don't quite understand each other's boundaries yet.
Yeah, we talk over each other a bunch.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember we're talking online, so it's not like we can see each
Well,
other
you know,
in
like
person.
when you're getting to know somebody and you're trying to make jokes with somebody, but you're afraid, like, oh, what if that offends them?
I didn't.
You know what I
to
mean?
be
Like
honest,
that's kind of how it.
I didn't really think about that back then.
But I can sense, like, you know, maybe
10
not
years
exactly
ago,
that, but
people weren't as offensive, even
No,
though
that's true.
they
That
were
is
as
very
offensive.
true.
They weren't as offensive.
that's true.
So I probably said things back in my older Let's Plays that would probably be like, "Whoa, you said that?" I'd probably, you know.
I noticed more. I mean, this. I don't know if this is the first co-op thing you ever did, but in Dark Minded Sith's Leaf Green video, when you
Yeah.
guys did it together, like you talked together,
Uh-huh.
that's probably the one that I noticed you talking over each other the most, and
Yeah.
like really just.
The thing is, me and Dark Minded Sith had never done something with just the 2 of us.
Okay, well, it shows.
Like, well, yeah. But when like he liked the idea of like having a narration. I don't know if I suggested that to him or not.
Okay.
I remember suggesting a bunch of things for that Let's Play,
Mhm.
but that ended up happening. And then one episode, I feel like he asked me to do it. Like it'd be a funny
Yeah.
idea. Like, hey, what if you were Ash? Because he like his Ash voice is supposed to be an imitation of me.
Yeah.
Like that's the joke.
Which is.
So like I was supposed to
goofy.
be Ash. Yeah. So like I don't have his humor. That's the problem. So
Right.
I'm not as funny
Well,
as him.
You just have different. Like I said, you guys have very different brands of humor, but they intertwine like easily, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I entered the Let's Play world when that was going on right before he just abandoned it, because I thought it was hilarious. And I got one of my best friends growing up to watch it too, and we were both just like waiting for the next episode, but it never happened.
Yeah.
So
he always talked about how he would have to like top his last episode. Like you're never gonna top that last episode.
that's
You're
why
not. I was like, Ben, it's not.
No, that last episode was the best.
What's funny is I remember he sent me he was like, I'm gonna do the next part, and he sent me like the intro to it, and it's like, oh cool, he's gonna do it. And he never did it.
So you had a co-op group, right?
Yeah, one more like probably like six, probably.
But like when? Like
okay, so
when was this? I need like the timeline.
Right,
so you have Griff.
So we got Griff, okay, and then me and Griff went into a group with Ben and a few other people to become Infinite Ammo Let's Players or LPers. Or no, sorry, that's incorrect. It was Infinite Ammo Productions.
Ooh.
But I don't think that name fit on YouTube, so we were Infinite Ammo LPers on YouTube. Which doesn't sound as cool.
No, it doesn't. Sorry.
And we were doing Chrono Trigger, and by we, I mean I recorded it, and then we just played over it. But the thing is, there was some people, like, for instance, Dark Maya Sith had never played Chrono Trigger, so he didn't really know what was going on. He has since played it. But, so, like, some of the videos were, like, weird, because, like, it was with different casts of people.
So
Griff didn't even
the
appear
then?
until, like, so so, again, there was myself, Griff, and Dark Maya Sith. There was Scepter, who's
like
still around, RC Scepter,
okay,
5665. There was
know
Ben's
the name.
friend, Major Tom.
Okay.
And I think that was it for that. But at one point, Exits Tyler was in our group. At one point,
I knew about this, but I don't know what he did. Like, what
and
was
I
his...
think Chelsea91 was in the group.
I don't know
at
what
some point.
their contributions were to this group. Like the random.
There was a plan. This was like the Avengers. This was the Avengers of the Let's Playing community back then. You know, there was a plan.
There's always a plan. Doesn't happen.
But there was a lot of drama involving Major Tom.
Right.
I'll be straight up honest. It wasn't anybody else but him.
Man.
That was the issue. It's funny because I remember the last day we had gotten together and he was already starting to really annoy me. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, well, you know what? Let's record a video. And we recorded it. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. And then I just remember saying, like, no, you know what? I'm done with this. I put in all... Because I was putting in work to, like, the website. Like,
right, so you were, like, committed.
I met a bunch of people through making the website. You had committed to the bit. I was, like... I had a website made for it and everything. I was like, no, I'm doing all the work. And then he tried to, he tried to own it. That's what I was saying. There was lots of, like...
Yeah, no.
Controversy.
That's not okay.
I don't want to really get into everything about it, honestly, because I don't want this to be about that.
Long story short, it just didn't work out.
It just didn't work. So there was that group. There was Bottoms Up, which was myself, Blue Blazing Demon, and TM Sonic. And so
that one I didn't know about
BOT.
until, like, later. Like, way later.
So we had a podcast group. We didn't really ever try to make video. We did at one point. We're like, this is not working. Let's just do podcasts. So we had the podcast. So that was a lot of fun. We probably did about 30-ish podcasts, which is, I think, a decent amount. It lasted about a year. So it was Infinite Ammo, it was Bottoms Up. I had a short Donkey Kong Country Let's Play with Jeff Lars that never finished. We got about 8 parts in.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. So if you guys don't remember Jeff Lars,
I know who Jeff Lars is, but...
So we did that. That was on my channel. That was Spack Lars. That was...
Wow.
It's on my channel. You can look it up.
Know that
it's still
was a
there.
thing. Oh.
There's one video I did with my other brother, not Cypheron.
You told me about this. I haven't seen it.
So that's... If you look up Biker Mice from Mars on my channel, you can see that one.
And he never had a channel, right?
No, he never had a channel.
He was the one of you that didn't.
Yeah. He wasn't interested in
Didn't
that.
do the YouTube
But it's a pretty funny video, honestly. There was a short-lived group called The Bot Flares, and I think it may have been renamed to something later on.
Oh, I never heard about this.
Okay, so I can't remember who ran it. I want to say his name is Parten Joe. That sounds right.
Parten Joe?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this person.
So he had started this group, and I don't remember how I got into it, but he started the group... And my contribution to it. Remember how you did like the 5 lost levels?
Yes.
And you know how you had like your own like series on it?
Right.
That was kind of how this was.
It was like
felt like that kind of channel.
Okay.
So I had platform perils, and what I had was like.
Okay, I do remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. So I think I only did like 2 videos on it, but it was like I had a theme, like, and I had to play different platforming games, and it would be like ice levels or fire levels or whatever, and so I did that.
Which is cute.
And yeah, so like that was like a fun idea.
But it didn't like continue.
But yeah, no one was really doing anything.
That's the hardest thing about co-op is keeping it going. Like if not everybody is 100% like all in, or not everybody's life is kind of lined up in the same like pattern. It's really hard to do the co-op thing, which is why I'm surprised you've done like so much of it. Which...
I'm not done. I want to hear more. I still got more. Like I told you, I've done a lot.
Keep going.
So there's my sister Zenonia. On her channel, we had done a co-op of River City Ransom, which we never finished, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which we never finished. Which are very similar games, by the way, but that was fun. We just never got around to it. Then, before I get to my current group, there was one other group. There was, so RC Scepter wanted to kind of revive Infinite Ammo, and I thought it was a cool idea.
Right.
But we never did get Ben and Griff on board for it. So we had Free Roam Gaming, and basically it was the revival of Infinite Ammo. We've actually since talked about doing that again, like Ben and Griff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. But
that'd be so awesome.
You're here to hear first.
Please do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because then it'd be the power trio again, like
Yeah.
I told you about. See, this is why you were in like a different realm. Like when I had entered the Let's Play community, I was very much in the like Slim Kirby and Friends realm, because that was like the first person I watched and even talked to. And he had his own co-op, and you were like in another group.
You know,
so I was
a funny
like,
Slim story about that?
Yeah.
Give you some inside goss
Yeah,
here.
give me some of the
so
hot
Slim
goss.
actually wanted to be in Infinite Ammo.
Ooh.
So I think he mentioned that he wanted to create it because he wanted to do something like that. But now I'm in a group called Puddle Plains HD, which has 1 million people
That's
in
like
it.
too many people in it.
But the reason is, the origin story was it was just a Mario Kart group. So our friend Tennis Bubba 13, who may also just be Tennis Bubba now, I think he's also removed the numbers too.
If you make a YouTube, if you don't have one already and you make a YouTube channel, don't make it with a number.
Don't make it numbers.
But that's the moral of the story.
But anyway, he was streaming Mario Kart 7, and so he made a group for that. So he's kind of like the origin story behind this group. And then Mario Kart 8 was coming out, and so we had a group for that. And that just kind of evolved into this group. So we've done a lot more with Puddle Plains than I definitely have with any other channel.
The Puddles group is just like more casual. Like,
yeah, it's very
not so
casual.
Like, wow, we have to have this structured, like, let's get this out on Monday, guys.
That's the thing, is whenever we try to make a structured video, it's kind of like weird. You can't have a podcast with 8 people. Like, it's too much.
Yeah, I tried with 7 and it was too much. It was hard.
Because if you talk about one topic and everyone has to get a word in on it,
it's like an hour of like one sentence each, and it's like, wow, well, that was fun. So Odinspack's secretly the co-op guy.
Yeah. I like playing with others.
I like playing with other people. Who would you say now is like your group?
Like when I think of Puddle Plains, like the people I'm thinking of, honestly, because they're there a lot of times, is like Slim Kirby.
Right.
There's Snack Attack. There's King Kienzin. There's Pixel.
So like, tell me how you met some of them.
How I met some of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Slim shouted me out in a video once.
Probably saw it.
It was in...
Probably one of the ways I found you.
It was in a Fire Emblem Path of Radiance video.
Definitely not one of the ways I found you.
He has since shouted me out since then, but
yeah,
that's how I saw that, and I saw the video. I don't know. I think it was like recommended for me. I was like, "Why is this recommended for me?" I was like, "I didn't even know who he was," and I saw my name in the description because I used to read those.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? Now no one reads anything.
Snag Attack is an interesting one because we started talking. So I started knowing him it was either the Infinite Ammo website, or it was the Bottoms Up website.
Oh,
I'm not sure which
that's
one.
so funny.
So like he had messaged on there. I want to say it was Infinite Ammo. There's a few people in there, like for instance, like Prince Laharl-kun, Illaweaver as well, who's also in Puddle Plains.
Isn't that kind of cool though, to think like, wow, I made this website and then it led to like some of my friends now.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that kind of weird?
Well, it's cool.
No, it's cool. Like, I think that's awesome. And what's funny is like, this Snack was one of those, this is such a weird situation, but like, Snack's one of those people I met in person. Like, that's how I met him, was like in person.
Right.
Not as like this online, like, gamer, like, no. I totally met him in person the first time I ever met him, or ever even heard about him.
So you met him at MagFest, right? That was the first time
No, I met him at on New Year's Eve at a party.
But for MagFest.
Yeah,
though,
but
right?
that's even weirder. It wasn't even at a game.
That was the
thing,
MagFest
yeah.
that me, Snack, and...
That was the MagFest you were sick. It was like the first one you came to.
Yeah, me, Snack, and well,
yes,
Zach.
yeah,
Prince
you
Larhawk,
roomed together.
Yeah. Zach is Prince Larhawk. I'm gonna say Zach because it's
But I was at this house party for New Year's and in walks Zach.
We organized that hotel room through the website.
Did you really?
Through the Bottoms Up website.
Wow.
I remember doing that. We talked
That's
about
also
it.
how I met Zach.
So,
too.
like, that's crazy.
He was with Zach. I had met Sarah before that. Or Weaver. I had met her before
Weaver
that.
and my
she
sister
went to PAX. Yeah,
had
she had
hotel
roomed
room,
with...
and that's similar.
With Zenonia.
I remember she had posted on the website, and I think I told my sister about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how they got to know each other through that.
Yeah, because we already knew each other and we had started doing, like, forming our, like, girl group.
This might not be accurate, but it's how I remember it.
Well, whatever. That's
so
what we're asking.
I think it's right.
I don't know. I would imagine. Was there anybody that you were, like, a fanboy of? Like, that you had found on your own, not through, like, through your brother or anybody, that you, like, really were a hardcore, like, fan of that is now, like, a friend of yours or anything like that?
That's a friend of mine?
Yeah, or that you, like, talked to later on.
Actually, you know what? I am a big Slim Curvy fanboy, so...
Yeah, you're a big Slim fanboy.
Yeah, Slim fanboy.
He is. He really is. Okay, so now I'm gonna be nosy. Do you remember finding, like, out about my content? Or were you like, oh, that's that weird chick?
I honestly don't.
Group. You don't remember?
I honestly don't.
No.
I know that's not a great story. But I had known that you had done Mario 3 and like some Mario parties.
Yeah.
But I had never really watched your videos. And I think
how,
the first
though?
time...
Like, do you remember how you even heard, like, who I was? It was probably through Ben.
It was either through Ben or it might have been even through Little Foo, because I think she watched your stuff as well. And I talked to her a little bit.
Like, before you talked to me?
Yeah, I had talked to her before you.
Oh, wow. I didn't know her until after I knew you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked to her before I talked to you, to my knowledge.
I mean, that's possible. I just think that's funny.
Because I was one of her first viewers.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, the first time I remember really starting to watch your stuff was after I'd met you at PAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even then, I didn't really watch it that much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Even now, I don't really watch.
Wow, awesome.
Okay, well, that's not as true.
So,
but I honestly, I feel bad because, like, I feel really terrible now. But you talk about going through some of my old stuff now. I haven't done that yet. I haven't really gone back and watched through your old stuff.
I had been watching you before we became, like, friends, though. Like, because I heard about you and I was, like, this eager, like, person that was so, like, ready to be a part of this community. So I was like, I have to watch this person and this person. I was, like, grabbing at anything that came my way. And you were one of those Let's Players. So I was like, yes, I have to watch him. So, I mean, that was kind of built into me, like, trying to be accepted into the gaming community.
Well, I'm sorry.
You were my ticket to acceptance. Tell the story of meeting me for the first time, though, because I love your interpretation of this story. Just so you guys know.
So, PAX East was like, I was like, oh, cool. I'm getting to meet a bunch of people for the first time. So, at Christmas, I had asked for a video camera, or a camcorder, whatever you want to call it, and because I wanted to document it, because I thought it'd be cool, and I made a whole series on it.
And it was cool.
And it was pretty cool.
I liked it. It was really awesome.
Honestly, like, meeting people for the first time and everything.
To have you
it wasn't
documented.
It wasn't, like, but... Not even though I didn't meet everybody on camera for the first time, I did meet somebody on camera for the first time, and that was MadameWario. So she was playing some, like, dance game or something.
I was in line to play Dance Central. And when I am in line to do anything that has to do with dance, I am in the zone. Like, ready to go. Like, I am going to kill this. Like, I will be so good.
So you have to understand.
And it was a game.
You have to understand that I'm not exactly great in a huge group setting. One-on-one, I'm pretty good. But there was tons of people at PAX.
And I'm, like, really outgoing.
And she's super outgoing. And I'm not as much.
I love people.
But we were with a bunch of people already, and it was in, like, the main hall where it's really loud and everything. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm bringing my camera because I was like, oh, this will be cool. Like, we'll get our first meeting on camera. And, like, maybe looking back at it, it's kind of weird because I'm, like, just pointing a camera at somebody. But I was like, oh, it'll be fine because at least she knows who I am. So it won't be bad. Like, it won't be awkward or anything. So anyway, I'm like, hey, and I got a big, well, not big camera, but a camera in front of me. Hey, how's it going? Ignored.
I did not.
Ignored. Completely ignored. And I'm like, oh, she hates me, I see. That was my first initial thing. I was like, oh, this didn't go the way I wanted it to.
I swear to God, I did not.
She doesn't like me.
No, I did not hate you. I did not think any of those things.
And I think, were you with, like, Allison? And
I was with, at the time, I was in line with
else?
Allison and my sister, Natalie, and then, was your sister with you, or was she with me? Because I met her before I met you, which is weird.
I don't know, to be honest.
I feel like she had run up to me and, like, I hugged her or whatever, and then you were coming, and I was like, it wasn't just you though. Like, there were other people around, so I was like, I was doing like the like, how am I gonna say hi to all these people at once? And then you just assumed that I hated you.
I got selfish.
I never hated you. I invited you to my after party.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I love having the after party at cons anyway. But like, yeah, I was like, you have to come to the after party in my room. And then I made a point to sit down and talk to you.
But a lot of the documented
that.
stuff from PAX, it's just us walking around.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's just a cool, like, experience. Just remember, because, like, doing that
Some
now,
of
it would be kind of really lame. But for some reason, it just worked.
It's so, like, nostalgic watching that stuff.
The best part is
emotional.
when Blue takes the camera and Chicken lifts him up, and it's the room where everyone's waiting for the runaway guys. And right after that, I don't know if we had recorded it. I think I got rid of it or something. But the guy, like, yelled at us.
Yes, I remember
He's
that
like,
happening.
you can't do that. That's dangerous. And then we're like, oh, we're sorry. I won't do it again. And I should have left it in. I don't know if we had the footage in or not.
That would have been so funny. I don't think you did have it in, but I was there, so I saw it happen.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. But there was lots of funny stuff from that. Like
oh my
when
God.
I gave the camera to my sister. And
that was really, and you like changed
Rocco
the border.
from Mega 64 took the camera at one point.
He like changed the border color to be like, I remember it was like the
Madam
cam
who was
or
holding the camera.
the Zenodia cam, you know. It was cool. I love that. I love how you put that together. But I did not hate you. I never hated you. That was not a thing at all. You know what's funny though is Rachel, Cholsey91, said the same thing. She was like, oh, I was like, she told me that she watched my stuff and she had been watching my stuff and I had been watching her stuff, but like we'd never talked or even like commented. I don't know.
Right.
And she said the same thing, that she like saw me and she was like, oh, and like she waved at me and I didn't wave back. And so she was like, oh my God, she hates me. And just like stood off in the corner. And later I saw her standing like far away, like in the expo hall. And I was like, are you Cholsey91? And she's like, yeah, I am actually. She's like, I actually know who you are. And I watch your stuff. And I was like, really afraid to say anything to you, and I was like, what? And I just like hugged her, and that
the moral of the story is MadameWario doesn't like anybody.
I guess I make really bad first impressions. I just give off the impression that I hate you immediately, so
go look up PAX Xanadu.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any closing thoughts about your whole journey as a Let's Player, like where you're going?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of streaming on Twitch, and it's just more engaging on there, honestly. I do put out Let's Play videos from time to time, but it's just not the same as it used to be. For people who are just starting to get into the gaming community, like on YouTube, I don't know how it is now. Like if it's still as like, oh, let's find friends or let's connect with It's honestly
people.
kind of weird because like sometimes like I'll put out a video and I get like 60 views or something.
Right,
and
like views are really small.
And like, but like honestly, that's like 60 people are watching, which I think is pretty nuts that there's that many people still paying attention. But then I won't get any comments, which I know people don't usually leave. But I'm like, who's watching this still? Like, there's obviously some interest in this, but you know how people, like, ask for comments and likes and stuff like that. There's a reason people do
right,
that.
Because
people will
you
do
don't.
it. People
yeah,
will
people
do
will
it.
do it if you
Like,
if you say like, "Oh, let me know this" or whatever.
And it's like people complain like, "Oh, I hate when people say it," but
Right.
they're doing it because you won't do it. Like,
exactly.
if you're not prompted to, you probably won't do it.
And on that note, I'm nosy, so like
on that
comment.
note, make sure you
Comment.
comment.
No,
like, comment,
on that note,
subscribe.
seriously, comment and let me know if there's anything else you want to know or like that anything you found interesting or you're like, what?
I expect this view counter to be the comments to be equal to the view counter, an exact amount of comments to views.
There you go. Yeah.
If somehow everyone
Which
had
won't
gotten through
happen,
it, yeah.
but where do you want to go from here, like as a gamer?
I want to make my own game
There you
because
go.
I think it would be very cool to have someone else do a project on something I've made. Because I also have done, like, I also did that.
That would be so cool.
So, like, that would be really cool to see someone do a Let's Play on something I've made. And like, I would be all for it. I'd be like, oh, cool, you're doing a Let's Play of my game!
Right.
I wouldn't know what to say. It would be really
That would be
neat,
crazy.
though.
That would
Yeah.
be so awesome, though.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, thank you for being my first talk, my first conversation.
You're gonna have to go
about
to
this.
everybody's house.
I
for
know, I'm
this?
gonna have to go to everybody's house. You're like
It's gonna be difficult to do.
I know.
Just get everyone to
eventually.
green screen.
Yeah, there we
And
go. And then they'll be like, yeah, we were totally there together.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. That'll work.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Please comment and let us know anything you found interesting about this. Let me know if there are any kind of questions you would like me to ask future interviewees. Interviewees? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Big Odie, for letting me do this interview.
No problem. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been quite the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I will say my sign off, which is peace out, pimps. Thanks for joining us. Bye.